It's Steve with Montana Musings Outdoors, and it's Sunday Night Live again. And so today is February 15th, and with there's so much stuff going on in the world that's so absolutely sickening that I thought maybe we ought to talk about it a little bit tonight. I don't know, see what you guys think. But as usual, though, I do like to start out with some Second Amendment stuff. So I was on the AmmoLand news site, and they do have a some quotes from the framers here that if you haven't heard them, it's a good thing to hear. So this first one was from George Mason, and it said, "To disarm the people is the best and most effectual way to enslave them." And James Madison, he said the same. He said another one here: "The advantage of being armed forms a barrier against enterprises of ambition." And Thomas Jefferson, "No free man shall ever be debarred the use of arms." And George Washington, "A free people ought not to be armed, ought not only to be armed, but disciplined." Almost screwed that one up. Richard Henry Lee, "To preserve liberty, it is essential that the whole body of the people always possess arms." Now, I like that guy. Samuel Adams, "Peaceable citizens must not be prevented from keeping their own arms." And of course, it goes on to say, why does this matter today? Well, there is so much crap going on right now in the world that it would be stupid not to be armed. So, and what's kind of cool is we're also coming up on our 250th anniversary this year. So this should be a big time this year, and if we should really find ways to celebrate that even more than we normally do. So I just think that would be really cool. I don't know. Maybe there'll be some more of those gun range type things, where everybody gets together and just lets it rip, for the Second Amendment. So that'd be kind of fun. But it says here, "The citizen militia lives, the republic endures, the responsibility to protect both remains with us." And that is so true. So, I just did a video on the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks deal, and they were, so hunter education is getting kind of starting to go here all across the state here. So, and it's so important to get our kids out. Like here in Montana, they have an apprenticeship program that starts at 10. You obviously have to be with an adult and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not in this apprenticeship thing is kind of new to me. So we got some guys in here. J-Rock, hello. Cody Carey, 52, hi. Zephyr Sports, hi. And Camry Mevison. Yes. So anyway, how you doing, guys? And thanks for coming in. The Leah Fawn is in here. How you doing? But most of the hunter education stuff is so important to get our kids, because it talks about being disciplined too. So and part of that is training. And if we got our kids used to using a firearm, understanding the responsibilities, what it can do, not only for hunting but for self-defense and all that kind of stuff, is so important. So Tina Welsh, hi, how are you? It's your birthday. Well, happy birthday. Yep, I've got one coming up the end of the month, so we're February babies, I guess. Anyway, so like I said, it's important to have your kids understand the responsibilities that go with firearms ownership, and I think everybody should have that knowledge. So, and it's funny that it's turning out that since the shooting in Minneapolis and just other stuff that's been going on, there's more women and more people on the Democrat side of the aisle that are actually thinking about the Second Amendment in a different light because they were always against it. But it's there to protect all of us. But we have to use it in a responsible way, and that's where getting training and all that kind of stuff, and having an understanding of what the Second Amendment is. Also knowing that all life is precious, and it's not like we live in Iraq or other places like that just kill people by the thousands because they don't have any respect for life. So that's one of the main things. So how's Montana? Well, it's still warm and windy here. Hannah, Montana. I don't know. Let's see. I went to the Western Hunting Expo this weekend. It was packed and had a lot of new products. That is from TW-D6M. That's awesome. I've always wanted to go to that, but it's just a long ways from here. And that gives me another thing to talk about too, just to get off subject with the Second Amendment stuff. But maybe I should finish my thought there first. In really having your parents involved and getting your kids going, it kind of gives you as a parent a refresher course in what should be done and how things should be handled. So it's kind of good for everybody. So get your kids out there and get that done. Yes, I know who the Statler brothers are for sure. Yep. Anyway, speaking of like the expo, I just did a video Friday that talks about the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and their big deal that they're having this summer. It's I think July 16th through the 19th or something like that. I'll see if I can find it here. But this is their inaugural one. I had been asking people why it is we haven't had one of these kind of things in Montana, because Montana's a big hunting. We have the most firearms per capita in the United States, and Wyoming's a really close second. So why wouldn't we have something like that here? Other than it's just maybe numbers, not enough people to make it worth it. But I think it would just be, it's going to be awesome. So they're, let me see if I can find that real quick. It's RMEF. So they are having what's called, let's see, I'm just about there. Donate. It's called the Big Game Days. And it's July 16th to the 19th in Missoula, Montana. So that's where Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation's headquarters is. And so they're going to have a shooting range, a archery range, and of course all kinds of vendors, and they're going to have I think it's called a pack out type competition where you have to pack some weight for a certain amount of distance or something like that. So let's see if I can. This says it's the inaugural Big Game Days where the hunting industry takes over Missoula, Montana. So yeah, they're having a full drop competition, firearms range day, and gear demos. World Elk Calling Championships, that would be fun. So, and a hunter showcase sidewalk sale, so that's where all the vendors and stuff will be. They'll be having a conservation work project and the Tough Elk workout. So, I think my son would probably like to do that. I'm a little beyond that, but I probably should try it. Maybe they'll have one for us seniors, but I don't know. And they'll have a youth conservation experience, and more. And there's more being planned. So because it is a little bit off a ways. So they got some more stuff coming. But this is something I've been asking for a long time. And Montana is just the backyard of Canada. Yeah, sure, right. It's Montana and Alberta are so close to the same. Obviously, we're right next to each other, and same type of mentality, I think. So, I like my Alberta people for sure. So, you do big game hunting? Been looking to get into some elk hunting. Everything seems to be way overpriced considering the population of elk. I look like a retired sniper. Well, I'm definitely not a sniper, but and I'm not even retired yet. I'm still working. So wrong, wrong in both categories. But the the like the Montana, if you're an out of stater trying to get into Montana, yeah, it's expensive. I think all of the, if you don't have elk in your state and you have to go somewhere else, it is expensive, no doubt about it. So, because I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 50, probably it's over $1,500, I think, for an elk tag, and I think that's a combo tag. So I think you get deer and involved in that too. So, but it's still a lot of money. Plus, you got travel expenses and all of that kind of stuff, and yeah, it gets expensive. So if you want to hunt in Montana and you're a hunter and you're conservative, just move to Montana, live here for a year, and then you can do all the stuff I'm doing for not that much money. So I don't have elk in my state. Yeah, that's one thing. Depending on where you're at, if you have elk type habitat in your state, there's a lot of states that have had elk introduced into them by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. So I think Nebraska has elk now. A couple, three states in the eastern part of the United States. If you go onto their website, they actually have probably a description of the states they have moved animals into and how their recovery is coming, and I think it's pretty darn good. So, yeah, look into that. It'd probably be some interesting reading just to see what they're doing, and another reason to support them. I'm I'm a member of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, so I'm always just saying, if you look into it and you like what they're doing, and maybe you want to have elk introduced to your state, maybe start a chapter, or just call the people at the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation in Missoula and put in some inquiries into that type of situation and see if there's anything in the works in the future. So, but yeah. So let me rephrase. In North Carolina, we are introducing them, but it will take 10 years for a decent population. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. I thought there was something in that area there for sure. Yeah. Because I think that just got started probably, 4 years ago, maybe, I'm guessing. It might have been more than that, but 3 or 4 years ago. So at least it's coming, you know. That's a good thing. It'll happen. And then, of course, there'll be limited draws and all that kind of stuff because they still want that population to grow, I would imagine. So it might be hard to get that. So, yes, spot on. Yep. Chrissy Loftus. I live in North Carolina. Oh, you live there too. Good. Cool. So hopefully, you guys will have some elk to hunt here in the next probably 6 more years or so, I would guess. But in the meantime, start a chapter there or something like that. Because if the elk are there, you probably already have a chapter because they would have been probably part of the working group that made it happen. So, yeah, look for that. Look for that. I hunt whitetail, but I mean, hunting a beast like an elk would be amazing. I've been trying to get an elk. My son's he lives in Missoula, and it's a good area, so I've gone down there and hunted with him for 3 years now. I used to go hunting on the east slopes of the Rockies here where I live, and so I don't have horses or anything like that. So we always have to hike in, and that makes it a little tougher. You can't obviously cover as much ground, but I have never gotten one, and he's gotten, I think, 5 now in the last 5 years since he's been down in that area. He's been down there for, must be going on 11 years now, I think. So, but Marion County, McDowell County. Yeah. So anyway, so he's kind of lucked out. Of course, he lives down there, so I always go down opening day, and the weather has been either too warm, or this last year, the wind was blowing like 50 miles an hour. I don't even know how our tent stayed on the ground, but it was it was crazy. So we didn't see much when I went down there this year, but and then the very next weekend he got his. So but I was up here deer hunting instead, and I didn't even get one of them. So but yeah, it was kind of a dry year this year. Not only no rain or snow, but hunting was kind of dry too. But you know, there's always next year, and I'm going to keep trying until I stop breathing, I guess. Um, but yeah, all of these things are just super fun to talk about too, because I love hunting. I hunt up in the Appalachian Mountains and around Cherokee here in North Carolina, but do got three big animals I'd like to hunt: bison, elk, and moose. Yeah, my grandson shot a bison here. It's probably 3 years ago now, and that was a pretty cool deal. My son, his dad, and another friend of his went out and got one. So because we have a reservation right here close to us, so it's like, I don't know, 15 miles from here, I guess. And he does have some native blood in him, so he was able to go out there and knock one down, and that was a pretty cool deal. So yeah, bison would be good. Of course, my number one goal is elk, and moose would be good too. That would be, I'd check with Alaskan Ballistics. I would like to go up with him and go hunting on some either moose or caribou or one of them, but I doubt that'll happen in my lifetime. But he can always dream, Something might come along that makes it happen. Who knows? But yeah, that's. I'm glad you come in here. I like to talk hunting. I never know where these conversations are going to go. So, but yeah, it's. And then of course, I don't know if you guys follow me very much or if you just stumbled onto this, but I do a lot of talk on the 6.8 Western, which is a awesome round, and that's the one thing that, with choice ammunition is going to be pushing out their ammo with Peterson brass now, which has been something we've been hoping for a while, and it's finally happening. So we're excited about that. And yeah, things are kind of coming around for that particular cartridge. It's kind of been a slow start, but it's starting to come around. So, and I don't know, what do you shoot for a round for the deer around your area? They're at gun _ M3 Canix. So yeah, when I first started hunting, I had a Model 788 243 with I think it had a 18 or 20 inch barrel. It was real short. It was just a perfect truck gun. And what's the cougar population up there? They're open season down here. There's good numbers on cats. I think that season has, I'm not sure, but I think in some areas those seasons have closed. Probably depending if they met their quotas. But yeah, there's plenty of cats up here. Where I go hunting down by Missoula, my son actually stumbled up on a dead mountain lion that he thinks, because it was laying under kind of a rock overhang thing, and he thinks maybe it got hit by a car or something and just went up in the mountain there and laid down and died. But and then there's another gal that he used to teach in school that's a mountain lion hunter, and she's got dogs and stuff, and so she goes after them. So I use a 270 if I need some distance, but if I'm in the stand, a bow, or I bring my 12 gauge. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I tried some deer stands around here, but I didn't have any luck with it, and I just couldn't stand sitting in a tree that long. So anyway, yeah, well, good. That's good. You use a 270 because that's basically a smaller bullet 6.8 Western, basically. So yeah, it's a good gun for deer out to 500 yards for sure. I have loaded some 136 terminal ascents in my 6.8 Western and tried them, and they were scooting along there. I kind of overloaded some by accident, and they were going 3,400 feet per second. I had to try them, and the uh, the so I backed it off to, I think it was 63 grains, 4831 SC, and it was going 3230, I think. So yeah, they were scooting pretty good. Did try 454 Taurus one time, didn't see anything that day, so I haven't really used it since, but still bring it with me in case I run into a black bear. Yeah, we're speaking of black bears, April 15th, it opens here for black bears in the spring black bear. And I'm looking forward to that because last year on April 9th, I was just walking at work and all of a sudden my knee swelled up. And so I ended up having knee surgery. I had some cartilage break loose. And so I ended up, and that was like we were going to go hunting on the 15th. So less than a week before I was supposed to go, this happened. So I was lucky to get ready for fall hunting season because I didn't get my knee operated until August 28th. And but we went anyway and made it through it. So, and it's really good now. So I'm ready to go. And then we put in for our tags, our permits, and all that stuff starting March 1st. So that's not that far away. So that's always fun. And then you get to wait for a month or so and find out if you draw anything. But there's enough over-the-counter tags and things like that that you can pretty much plan your hunt. And if you happen to draw a special tag or something like that, it's just gravy. So, yeah, it's getting to be that time of year when things start to get a little bit fun again. So, get through this winter months and have some fun. Yeah, I'm not big on bears. They carry so many parasites. I get a little weird with them or coyotes. Hunt some of them for food, but I don't really trophy hunt, and I don't have that kind of money. Yeah, I used to hunt coyotes years ago when I was a young feller, and skinned them, stretched them, did all the stuff so that you could take them in and get top dollar for them. And back, that was in the early 80s, and they were 80 to $100 a pelt, and so that was good money back then. And then there was a lot of years where they weren't worth anything. So, and just a few years ago, the price was up there around 100 again. So, but I think they're back down now. Where were you in 2020? 2002? 2002. I was I was in the same spot. So, right here, but I just wasn't doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, I've been here for a long time, doing the same job, all that kind of stuff. So, yep. Anyway, but yeah, bear hunting season. It's just good to get out. I'm not looking forward to fighting ticks and all that kind of stuff, but it's just something to do, and I'm glad to do it. I look at my father's generation. Hunting has become so expensive. I just don't know what drove these prices up. Well, that's in the restrictions around hunting. Yeah, there's always all these committees, and they're having meetings all the time with the FWP and trying to figure out numbers and how many tags they want to put out and all of that kind of stuff. And it used to be, I don't think there were as many hunters. When COVID happened, it exploded because people were just looking for a way to find cheaper food. And there was, the hunting community grew by a lot. So, I think a lot of them are still doing it. And so there's quite a bit of pressure. There have been some things here around Wyoming, and we're still waiting to see if it'll happen in Montana, but it's Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. It's the 10th Circuit where they had that ruling on corner crossing. So you can cross over if it's a checkerboard type situation, and you can cross over from one private or public into public without touching the other land. that's legal to do down there now. It's not. They haven't done it in Montana yet, so still can't do that. But if they would open that up, it would open up a lot more. There's a lot of land that's not accessible to hunters, and I think it would just take a lot of pressure off of certain areas if there was just more land to hunt and be able to get to. So, especially if there are a higher number of hunters. So, they did cut back the out of the state permits 2,500, which it's something, but it's not a lot. And then our numbers have sort of, I mean, we kind of had there's, it's like everything. There's peaks and valleys, and our numbers were really good for probably 10 years ago, and then they sort of have dropped down again. So they're kind of worried about numbers and the amount of pressure that's on them. So yeah, it's and like I say though, it's just a cyclical thing, and they're just trying to manage those cycles. So yeah, you could have had an elk in 2000 or less. Yeah, I think it would have been. It would have been a lot different 4 or 5 years, 5, 6 years ago for sure. But even like if you're a resident here, I bought an A and a 2B tags for deer, and a 270. It was down in 270, an elk permit, which was guaranteed. And I also put in for a over-the-counter cow tag and a general bull tag, and bear and sheep. And I think I might have spent $180 total. And I got some of that back because I didn't draw. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, anyway, it's for residents, it's not bad. And even if they raise the price a little bit to try to cover the loss of not having 2,500 out-of-staters, because you think about, I think it came to $1.8 million they were basically throwing away by cutting off those tags. So they're probably going to have to make that up somewhere, and it'll probably be us locals. So yeah, but anyway, it's just kind of how it is, I guess, because we're really not in control of everything. But but you do have to speak up. You have to have advocates for the hunters, and that's the kind of stuff we'll just keep listening. I'm talking. So let's see, what else anybody got any other questions on guns or hunting or any of that kind of stuff? I think I covered all the stuff on the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, but there's some guys like, I don't know if you guys watch, like Corey Jacobson has that Elk 101 and that kind of thing. He says, okay, I'm seriously look at Montana for some land. It might be a good decision to move out west. Yeah, there's there's plenty of country out here for sure, anywhere. And right now we have a very friendly governor and legislature that is going to protect, our hunting rights and gun rights. I mean, we're a constitutional carry state. We don't have to have a permit or anything. I mean, so it's a good place to be. So, and there are 29 states that are constitutional carry now, so it's becoming more of a thing. So, is 22 a defense round? If that's all you got, absolutely. Yep. And if I was going to have a 22, I don't know that I would use hollow points, even though it sounds like it would be the right thing to do. I think I would get some Remington Vipers, or they got Federal's got a sort of a self-defense round. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's got a little bit of a flat nose on it, and that does disperse tissue. So if that's what I would use if that mustache is diabolical. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's what I was going for. So Federal Punch. Yep, that's it. Yep. Here's a question for you. Actually, I happened to the 10 gauge. You don't see them anymore, similar to the 16 gauge, but I found a lot more 16 gauges than 10 gauges. Yeah, 10 gauge is a pretty heavy load for, you know, goose hunters and stuff like that, I guess, or if you use it for deer, running a slug or something like that, or a sabot. But yeah, I would say 16 or 12 gauge is good as anything. They're still going to work, but I think a 12 gauge would be my choice. Thanks for doing the content I do. Well, thank you. I appreciate you appreciating me. That's good. Use a 50 cal for home defense. Are you worried about pass through any? Apparently not. Oh, good one. Yeah, that would be a fun one for sure. You'd have to have a safe room that if they busted through the safe room, you could let them have it with the 50 cal for sure. Do we have pheasant out there? Yes, we do. Actually, my area is a pretty good area for pheasant. Of course, North Dakota is, I think, the king of pheasant country out there, but we have pretty good pheasant right around here. I live in Valier, Montana, so it's just a small town of about 500 people. We got a lake with pike and walleye and perch, and we do get a few trout that come down in the spring out of Swift Reservoir, up that where the water comes in from, out of the mountains. And so when there's good snow in the mountains, we have a full lake and everybody enjoys it. So, but we've been a little dry the last couple of years. I was asking what happened to them. The 10 gauge is non-existent now, and I have only seen one person in person. Yeah, I haven't. I saw it. I think I saw a 10 gauge when I was a kid. Just nobody. Yeah, I remember there was a guy when I was in high school, his dad had one, and he showed it to us, and that's the last one I've seen. So most everybody has 12 gauges around here. So yeah, I don't really know what's happened to them. It's just a popularity thing, I think. And it does pack a wallop, so maybe people just don't like shooting it either. So quail, and there's no quail out here. We have something called we have grouse. We have some grouse, sharp-tailed grouse, and some Hungarian partridges. So those are the three main birds that we have out on the prairies here. In the mountains, we have blue mountain grouse, and they call them fool hens because you can literally hit them with a rock and eat them for supper. That's how dumb they are. But and I think the good Lord put them there for that reason. So yeah, so if you get stuck in the mountains somewhere, at least you can have some food. Same situation. The thing kicked like a mule. Yeah, for sure. Yep. That's a beastly round there. I think they're 3.5-inch magnums if I remember right. So yeah. But no, it's the I don't shoot much shotgun. Actually, I have a 16 gauge break open. I think it's a Ruger or something. Yeah, I don't even know because I don't do much shotgunning. But I have a coast to coast 12 gauge that was based off the Mossberg 500 that I've had since I probably had it for 50 years, and I bet I haven't put 100 rounds through it. So yeah, I just don't shoot much shotgun. So I shoot pistol some just because self-defense, you want to stay proficient. But I'm mostly a rifle guy because I shoot PRS, do a lot of hunting. Got a 6 GT coming here soon, so I got to catching a. Oh yeah, it's pretty late back there, so I'm buying a 45-7. Should be able. Oh God, that's perfect for out there. I think right on. That's a really good choice for sure. If you're shooting a shotgun, I'd rather have a 45-70 any day. So ticks are so bad where I am. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in here at Gun M Mechanics. Appreciate it. So. Ticks are so bad here. This is from Colin Selby 2405. And it makes you not even want to go in the woods. Yeah, that's what about to find out because I've never gone spring bear hunting. I've always just had my bear tag with me in the fall if I'm deer hunting in the mountains or something like that, just in case we came across one. So um, I'm kind of not looking forward to that part of it. So reloading fun. What? Good to see you in here, man. What rifle have you been shooting lately? Well, that 6.8 SPC2 has been the last rifle I shot out at the range. So a real hunter fights with their hands. Well, you got to be able to do it all. That's all I can say. Yeah. Yeah, especially, if that bear knocks the gun out of your hands before you get a chance to shoot him, you better be good with these. So, I wouldn't be too good anymore. I get arthritis in my knuckles. It'd not be good. Yeah, I'd be feeling that. What shape you think the Earth is? Well, I'm just going to go with round. It's been like that for a while. So, anyway, yeah, if anybody has any, does anybody else in here shoot at 6.8 SPC2? If you do, it's a lot of fun. G23 views. Hey, man, thanks for making it in. That's awesome. So, let's see. Absolutely. Yep. I'm the toughest then. Just waiting for the 6GT as well. Love my 6.8. Oh, right on. Yeah. Yeah, there's I don't know what it is, but those are two rounds that I don't know, I've just kind of I can't wait to shoot the one because I know I'm going to like it. But it's just like we said, I think you said last time that you had about 3 weeks to wait, so now you only got 2 weeks to wait. And I'm not sure when I'm going to hit mine. It's probably going to be next month, I'm guessing. So it's sometime next month. But I don't shoot the 6. This is reloading fun. I don't shoot the 6.8. It seems like it would be a good round for the AR. I've tried to talk to a couple companies. Even Bear Creek, they have 243 300 Win Mag and they do make them in like an AR bolt gun style, kind of like you went to precision. But I'm sure they're not that precision. But I just thought, I called them up and asked them, and they were like, well, it's not really in our plans, and then I guess there's another gun company in Michigan that builds them in the AR platform that are semi-auto. Alaskan Ballistics was telling me about them, but I can't remember the name of the company. But I talked to them, and it's it's getting tooled up for a new. I mean, it wouldn't be that much because they're just doing a barrel. It's not a big deal. Figuring out what the mag. I think the main part is figuring out what kind of mag you're going to have and how just to make it so it feeds reliably and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, upstate New York 80K. I hope the Bears get the best of you. They won't. I don't think they will. Especially the Chicago Bears, because they're not that great. They were pretty good this year. Let's see. Do I ever shoot revolvers? Not anymore. I had a couple of revolvers. I had a Ruger GP 100 and 357 mag, and it was nice. But I just like having a lot of rounds, and so I got. See, when you have a YouTube channel, sometimes you got to sell stuff to be able to buy something else, and so that was one of them situations. So I let it go. Reloading Fun has a 6 dasher, so I'm guessing you're really gonna like the 6GT. Yeah, I've got a couple of friends that one guy already shoots a 6 dasher, and another friend who's getting one built. But I went with the 6GT just because I had heard that the dasher sometimes has feeding issues. So I haven't heard from them that they're having any trouble, but their guns, like Grant, his gun shoots unbelievably. And the 6GT, that's just how it is. So I think the 6 dasher, but I think the 6GT very comparable. So, and basically, he was shooting a 6.5 by 47, and that's just a 6 GT is almost just a neck down 6.5 by 47. So, with a little bit different shoulder degree, 35 degrees. So, what's my daily? What's my daily what? Oh, my carry? It's a Smith & Wesson Shield Gen 1 in a 40 Smith & Wesson. So, yeah, the Dasher can have feeding issues. Yeah. Yeah, I think, and that's why I think the guys that developed the 6 GT was basically had that in mind when they did it. So, because I saw him on a podcast, I think it was on the Hornady podcast, and they were talking about that. So, hit the thumbs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, listen to G23. He gives out really good advice. Yeah. So, and, yeah, anything you guys can do to help out the channel would be appreciated, like subscribing and hitting the thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. So, maybe I might be able to get to 2,000 by the summer, I'm hoping. So 2,000 subscribers. So pile it in here, guys. Pile it in here. So, but let's see. Thoughts on Henry Ford. Henry Ford. Well, I haven't thought about Henry Ford for a long time. I had a couple of Ford pickups. And that was probably the last time I thought about him, when the head gasket went out on both of them. So, and I'm pretty sure my thoughts weren't good. So, what bullet choice are you going to try first with the 6 GT? I have 112 grain Barnes match burners. So far, they have the best BC. I just hope they fly good. I do know a fella that shoots in a town down the High Line from us here a ways that has the GT, and he shoots the 112 match burners, and he's had really good luck. So it's just about the load development. Hopefully my gun likes them. It should, because it's got a top-notch barrel, so it should like them. So, in let's see, I might even have some. I think the BC on those is, let's see. Let's see if I can see those here. Well, I looked them up at some point, and it's the highest BC of the 6mm. I think there's a 115 grain RDF that's out there that might be a little higher, but I haven't picked up any of those because those are by Nosler and they're so expensive. So I just haven't. Barnes target bullets, yeah. You don't like them? Yeah. So far, this guy I know, he shoots them and they shoot really good, and I've heard of some others too. But I think that there's obviously better choices. Because let's see, Berger, probably the Berger 109s are what a lot of. There's another guy that's from Kalispell that shoots it, and he shoots the Berger 109s, and that thing shoots lights out. So I've got a couple hundred of these bullets that I'm gonna try just for, see how they shoot, get the barrel broke in, and all that kind of stuff. And if they don't shoot worth a darn, I'll just obviously move on to some Bergers, because I don't. And the other thing, Sierra's got a 110 out now, and I wouldn't mind trying them. So there's some other choices out there that would be good. People have had good luck with Barnes. I'm just kidding. Oh. Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. You just have to. I don't mind playing around though and checking out the 109s. I've got some 107s that I got some loaded up in for my 6 ARC that I could theoretically use, but they'd be a little light. I'd have obviously get some good velocity with it, but it would just depend how they do downrange. And in my country, we do have quite a bit of wind, so your a heavier bullet, I think, is going to help you there. So Victoria Hancock 3315, hey, how you doing? Thanks for jumping in here. But yeah, it's been it's going to be fun to develop that. I've got some loaded up already for. I'm using Varget powder, which I think is probably the go-to that you have to use. So, yeah. Easton Rodriguez. Hey, how you doing, Easton? Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Welcome in here. You know, I actually have my neighbor is a traveling nurse, and her mother just moved up here right next door to me, and they're from Louisiana. So, and really nice people. So the BC difference between the 105 and the heavier bullets isn't going to make a big difference in practice. Yeah, it's just I think at 1900 yards you might notice a little bit of difference on as far as the carry of the bullet, and maybe a little less wind deflection, but like there's not going to be that much difference, I don't think. But because you're going to do, when you take your shot, if it's at 1800 yards and you miss your shot and you can see your hit, you're going to make an adjustment from there anyway, whether you're shooting a 105 or a 112. So, yeah, you're probably absolutely right. What do I do for a living? I'm a truck driver. I've been hauling fuel to farmers and construction sites for 34 years. So, oh, I didn't know you were shooting that far. Yeah, we have one that's last year it was 1917 yards. And then we have another one that the farthest is 1435. And then there's another one up in the what's called the Sweetgrass Hills that I haven't been able to go to yet. And I think it's somewhere around the 1800 yard mark. So hopefully I'll be able to hit all three of those this year. Wait, why do you look like my grandpa Tracy, like you have the same mustache and the same hat? Well, sometimes we have cousins that out there that we don't know. I don't know. He must be a good-looking fella. That's all I know. But I do bow 120 yards. That is from Hardtop Lease Guy. Yeah, I used to do bow hunting. I'm thinking about getting back into it. Especially there's a couple spots down there where we go that I think going during the rut would be pretty advantageous to us, and so I'm actually thinking about doing that again this year. So, but I've been with this company long enough that I get quite a bit of vacation. So as long as the wife's okay with it, I could probably swing it. So, but anyway, well, guys, we've been in here almost 50 minutes. So, but I sure appreciate y'all coming in. And can I live stream that? I don't know what you can do on YouTube, but I have a Rumble channel. It's Montana MuSINGS 59. And you can, if I get 100, I don't have 100 yet, but if you get 100 followers over there, so jump over there and follow. Not on YouTube. Yeah, I didn't think so. But if you go over to Montana MuSINGS 59 on Rumble, you can do that over there. So I may be able to do that. And we'll try to make something happen over there. It'd be kind of fun. Should do some shooting videos on there and, with the guns, and also do some bow stuff. That'd be kind of fun. So I have to get myself back in shape for that, though. I had got mine out. I still have it. And I got it set at 70 pounds, and I hadn't pulled on that thing for a long time. And I could definitely, it had to strain a little bit. You can live stream about song without a single follower, I believe. Oh, cool. Well, we're just going to have to do that. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, head on over there and follow. And, even if I'll just try to do some more live streaming over there this spring. And we got some weather coming in here. We haven't had a lot of bad weather, but we're supposed to be, come Wednesday, 9 below. We're looking at getting 4 to 12 inches of snow, so might not be shooting that much. So, yeah. no, head on over there. I don't know how hard it is. It's not hard to create a Rumble account. And I could sure, use people coming in there and helping that thing grow too. So I have like 5 live streams from the range on Rumble. I'm going to have to go check it out, G23, that's for sure. Just to see what you're doing on there. And I've been busy putting out more content, like 3 to 4 to maybe even 5 videos a week, just because I've kind of taken on doing Fish, Wildlife, and Parks news and some Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation stuff, which I'm going to be doing more of that because we've got a banquet coming up in Cut Bank on the 28th. So I'll be, trying to help that thing fire off. So, but anyway, guys, I'm going to cut this thing off here and appreciate you coming in. And hopefully you'll come back next Sunday and do this again because it's fun to do that. I need to do more content for my channels. Yeah, it's I used to try to do 2 a week, and I don't know, just lately it just seems like, a lot of it is just get ideas popping in your head, and you just, they say if you want to get on YouTube, you just need to put it out there, see what happens. And so I'm not afraid to put stuff out anymore. Or too much stuff even, because if you're doing different things, you might attract different people to your channel, I think. So anyway, I could be completely wrong. So, but anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. So we'll catch you in the next one, and I sure appreciate you coming in here and watching Montana MuSINGS Outdoors live stream. All right. Have a good one.